Welcome back to the King of the League. My name is Cromar. I am joined again by Pallytime. This is bot lane versus Solar Flares Game 2. And they've chosen a 1v1 for this matchup. And it's going to be Viper MK2, who was the Orianna player in Game 1, versus ManBearPig, who was the Kennen player in Game 1. They're going to go Morgana versus Elise. How about Morgana for a 1v1? Is that a standard 1v1 pick? I really don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I didn't watch a whole lot of those Magma Chamber fights, but I kept hearing about them, so we'll see. At least they picked range champions, though, Pallytime. The last 2v2 that I saw, everybody was melee, which was odd. And,
yeah, I don't know if Morgana's a normal 1v1 champion, but she does typically dominate her lanes. So that could be a very strong pick.
It could be. It could be. We should also mention, for those who don't know, this is going to be using standard Magma Chamber rules, which means the path to victory, you either get first blood, or you destroy the first tower, or you get 100 farm, 100 CS. And Morgana's really good at clearing waves, so she may be able to just sit back and farm her way up to 100.
Good at clearing waves, good at surviving. I mean, she seems like she's going to be a good pick. Now, the thing I will say about Morgana is her route will get interrupted by those tiny spiders of Elise's.
Stupid-ass spiders.
Yeah, so that could come into play. That could definitely come into play.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Also, we should mention that ManBearPig was the mid laner. It was Kennen mid lane last game. Both of these players were mid laners. So it is a mid laner 1v1. It's not like people out of their lane or whatnot. So let's see how this goes. I'm really curious. Yeah, you're absolutely right about the spiders. I didn't even think of that. It's so obnoxious on a Moo. My God.
Absolutely.
When I'm playing a Moo and the stupid spiders block my grab, that happens all the time.
So how do you think these guys are going to play? I mean, they've played against each other in the mid lane before. Do you think that's going to give them an edge? Do you think they're going to play more aggressive because of that?
Well, I think Viper actually has an advantage because, I mean, you know, ignoring the champion matchup for a minute, just looking at the players in the previous game, we noticed that Viper MK2 was definitely the star player and the carry for Solar Flares. So if he definitely won his lane. It's not to say that ManBearPig was dominated. Certainly wasn't dominated. ManBearPig actually did fairly well and was a major part of their team fights.
Absolutely.
Later on. But as far as the actual lane matchup, we saw a big advantage for Viper. Of course, that could have been the champions, too. So that was the only game we've seen between these players. So now we'll learn a little bit more about them and see which one can win here. But I think, in my opinion, I think Viper is going to win it. Even though he's taking a little bit of damage early, I think he's got the advantage overall. He's not too worried about sustain, you know, being Elise and all.
Yeah, Elise can get out of nearly any situation, so you don't really have to be that concerned with sustain. But after level 6, Morgana does get a pretty substantial amount of burst. If he gets a little too careless, that could definitely come back to haunt him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think, there's a grab, there's a cocoon, and he's actually going to dodge the returning skill shot. Check out the, wow. Half of ManBearPig's health gone just like that. That was such a good juke, by the way.
That was a very good juke. Very
nicely baited the binding and dodged it. And if he can do half of Morgana's health in one go
at level 3,
after those potions are
with
gone,
no items,
with no items, that's kind of scary for ManBearPig. I'm kind of worried about him now. But you know, to your point about level 6, yeah, it's not that hard to farm up to level 6. It's there. I mean, they're almost there. They're 4 now. A couple minutes they'll be 6, and the freaking shackles are insane, man. The soul shackles are crazy powerful, and that could do it right there. And I mean, those spiders won't help you there either.
They do, but their longer range CC, the root and the stun from Elise, both are about the same skill shot. I mean, they both react to things in about the same way. I think Elise may have a slightly longer range. You can correct me if I'm wrong there.
And missile speed as well. Both range and missile speed, I think, goes to Elise on this one. We could have that wrong. I'm not sure.
It sounds good.
But
as long as it sounds good, just go with it.
Yeah, they're close enough. And then they also have to consider the spiders, like we mentioned, for Elise is pretty amazing for blocking the binding.
As far as farm goes, Elise has been ahead this entire time.
Yeah, it's 30 to 25. I think it's a little bit easier for Elise to farm individual enemies, individual minions, because of her neurotoxin and other reasons. And there's another initiate. Ooh, diving, taking a tower hit.
Did not take the tower hit. Did not take the tower hit.
The repel canceled it.
Wow.
Nice work.
Perfectly played.
Wow. This makes me want to play Elise.
Me too.
Yeah, Viper MK2, great player. We've seen, saw him dominate an Orianna, had some plays, including a a Shockwave play that I don't want to tell you what happens. You got to watch the game to see it. We were both like fell out of our chair when it happened. So we like this player. We want to see more out of him.
It's also worth noting that they don't have to worry about ganks, obviously. So Elise can afford to just be hyper aggressive. Morgana's a very good defensive character, but Elise can just go crazy with her offense in this.
Oh. That's an excellent point. She can just go crazy with the offense and doesn't have to worry about, if she dives, she doesn't have to worry about having Zac come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Or Paranoia out of nowhere, which is what they had last game. In fact, the Nocturne player, which was 2 Chains on bot lane, he was harassing the hell out of mid lane, constantly diving mid lane to take on Viper's Orianna. So that was very obnoxious. But without that pressure, you're absolutely right. Not having a jungle pressure means it changes the matchup quite a bit. She doesn't have to waste money on wards,
It can all go into sustain items to make sure she doesn't die. I mean, a couple... Well, she already does have a Doran's Ring. I think picking up another one would be a very, very smart choice. Gives her more sustain in lane for sure.
I agree. If they have a chance to buy, it's tough though. I mean, Manbear Pig has to push really, really hard in order to be able to buy. And he needs to go back because look at his mana.
Absolutely.
Look at his mana. Morgana cannot full combo Elise right now because of the mana difference. So Manbear Pig's going to need to do something. He's going to need to save up some mana and then push heavily so that he has time to go back. Because neither of these players has teleport. That's also important to point out.
Oh, I did not notice that.
So neither of these players can go back. Yeah, neither of these players have teleport. So neither of these players can go back safely. Viper actually went for Exhaust Ignite. That's like the hardcore give me first blood build. And, oh man, the bite might do it. He might die from the Ignite. There it is, first blood. So the victory going to Viper MK2 with the Ignite. Manbear Pig just could not sustain through it, whereas Viper could, and that was the victory right there. If only Manbear Pig had a little bit more mana, he would have lived.
Wow, that was crazy how much burst damage Elise has. I really wasn't expecting that.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of a hard counter. Another issue that may have come up with that matchup is that the repel can cancel Soul Shackles and prevent the stun.
Oh, wow.
And that sucks. Yeah, that sucks for Morgana. So he basically has to get him to waste the repel before he can do the full combo. So you can say it was a bit of an outpick as well, but Viper taking that battle, and that's going to be 1-1 for week 1 between these two teams, Solar Flares and bot lane. Well, that's fun.
It was fun.
All right, thanks for joining me, Pallytime. See you next game.